Going all in on digital marketing for your business?
Struggling to gain traction or figure out where to begin?
Join me for professional insights into digital marketing and to get answers to real questions from real people about real issues related to promoting your business online. Social media, email marketing, newsletters, it can get overwhelming. As a digital marketing instructor for the Pennsylvania College of Art and Design and the owner of Headline Consultants, a digital marketing company here in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, you can count on me to explain it all in a way that's easy to understand and makes sense.
This is a Candy Factory Mini.
Getting Noticed
With Justin Quinn.
Hi, welcome to Getting Noticed with me, Justin Quinn. Today, I have the honor and privilege of introducing you to one of the best writers I know. And that's saying something because I really value writers. But she's more than just a writer. She's also a digital marketer and a strategist, all kinds of things rolled into one. Her name is Beth Meiklejohn, and she is here with us today. Hi, Beth. How are you doing?
Good, Justin. Hi, I'm doing so well.
It's great to see you. So for purposes of the show, would you kind of tell us a little bit about what you do and how you kind of came to be in this industry?
Definitely. So, like you said, I am a writer at at the core, in my heart. So writing has always been something that I knew I wanted to do. I started as a public relations professional, and it was my way to really do a lot of writing for clients and help get their business noticed. And that just kind of took me on this journey where I went from, working with other writers and journalists to get my client stories published to now doing all of the writing myself and finding ways to help them get noticed to any number of people they're trying to target.
Wow. So how long have you been doing this? How many years have you been in this industry?
Oh, I was thinking about that before we spoke. I think it's been 14 years since I started in PR.
Wow.
And so obviously writing for all that time in different aspects. So.
Is marketing writing a little bit different than PR writing? Or is it kind of along the same lines?
So, there's definitely technical differences, but what I found, and I think why I love what I do so much, is it really does just come down to telling a story and putting something out there that connects with the people you're trying to serve. So there's so many parallels, no matter what type of writing you've done. Okay.
Great. So I want to kind of hear more about what you consider high quality content. But first, with all the challenges and difficulties 2020 has presented for businesses here and across the country, digital marketing has become more important than ever. In fact, as we face the possibility of more stay-at-home orders in the coming days and weeks, the internet is really one of the only ways, if not the only way, that many businesses can even speak to their customers. At Headline Consultants, we, meaning Beth, me, and some other people, offer a variety of services to help you kickstart your online marketing and get your business noticed. From blogs and emails to social media and website copy, we can help you build an online identity. So check out headlineconsultants.com today and see what we can do for you. Again, that's headlineconsultants.com. So, Beth, what in your opinion constitutes high quality content?
That is such a big question. I would say two things that have to work together. The first is from a business content standpoint. Your content has to help someone first and foremost. Answering the questions that your customers or your industry have. Your content should serve the people you're in business to help serve and support. I'll give you a quick example. So, if I owned a yoga studio, the content I would want to put out there would be, how can I give you some tips as to how to improve, your practice with yoga? How can it help you, gain some mental clarity or whatever the goal would be? So content that's not just pushing, yourself as a business owner, but finding ways to help the people you're there to serve. So that to me would be first and foremost. The second is, your content's there to help you grow your business. and it has to convert. It has to make your business discoverable, your website discoverable. Otherwise, you're putting out this amazing content, but no one can find it. No one can, do anything with it. So, yeah,
Gotcha.
it has to help, and it has to also help you convert, get people's eyes.
So let me ask you about that first part in a little bit more depth here. So a lot of times when I explain that sort of thing about being helpful to people and offering suggestions and advice, the pushback from clients is sometimes, well, why would I give that information away for free? That's stuff that we do for them. So what's your answer to that? I mean, why would people want to give away all this great information for free?
So, and I get that question all the time too. I think there's certainly no problem giving a little bit away. You have to demonstrate your value. People have to understand that you're not just there to sell them something, but you're there to, educate, impart wisdom, help them reach whatever goal that they have. So they need a taste of that. But certainly, you as any business owner, you have to make sure that you're paid for your expertise. So I think it's a little bit about show value. And I'm okay, in my business, showing that value. I'm there to help people, help businesses grow. But certainly making sure that, they're valuing that content in my case, so that they, want to invest in me and me in them. So.
Yeah, I think what it comes down to a lot for people is time, and that's sort of what I explain to them. I often use the example of roofing. So my roof is way the hell up there. I mean, it is like, I feel like it's 100 feet in the air. I know it probably isn't, but it looks like it to me. Very intimidating. But if I'm going to have somebody redo our roof, for example, I kind of want to know what they're doing. I want to know how it's done. I want to know how much time it should take. I want to know all this information because, at the end of the day, I want to be able to look and say, oh, they did a really nice job based on everything that I know. At the same time, though, I'm not going up there. There's no way I'm going up there. You know what I mean? First of all, I'm terrified of that. And secondly, I don't have the time to do it. So I think if we're giving us stuff away for free for people, we're demonstrating our value, right? But we're also explaining to them, hey, look, when you're ready for a professional to do this, it's great. Another example, I ran a water line to my refrigerator not too long ago, and now my water trickles out of my refrigerators. So I followed the videos, I looked at everything, but I still didn't get it right. So I'm going to need to have a professional come in and do that. It's embarrassing, but it's true. So, I mean, is that kind of like what you're thinking too?
I do put it in terms of, understanding opportunity costs with whatever you're doing in your business. So, I mean, in your case, I'm sure this wasn't the case for you, but the time that you spent on that, if we're putting it into a business context, could you have spent that time on something else, actually, pushed your business forward more, made more money? Essentially, you lost money by trying to do some of the work yourself. So it's just all in how you look at it and how you prioritize kind of what areas of your business are going to, or what tactics are going to help your business grow fastest and best.
Cool. So you and I work together a lot on, a variety of client content. One of the questions that I get asked a lot, and so I'm going to ask you, is how do you come up with ideas for content? I mean, you work with so many different types of businesses. I mean, we have an office furniture company that we work with. We have a drug and alcohol rehab or drug and alcohol aftercare center that we work with. I mean, how do you come up with ideas for content for all these different clients?
So I go back to, is the content I'm coming up with helpful? So for any client, I want to know, what are your customers asking you? What questions do they have that they don't have answers to yet? And then how can we use, whether it's a blog or, a blog being the foundation, but we push content out through social or wherever your audience is, find ways to answer their questions. A lot of times if I have a client who's not sure, what do their clients want to know? What do their customers want to know? I'll say, think back to some of the most recent phone calls that you've had with clients in this world we're living in right now. If you're on social media, are you getting messages are there common themes in the questions that you're getting asked? Turn those into blog posts. Any First and foremost, anything that you feel strongly is going to help your audience accomplish whatever goal they have that they've come to you to, have your help with. That's where I start.
Okay.
There's other things, what's going on in the news. If there's a client who's, offering advice maybe to topics that are happening, be it regionally or nationally in the news, how can they be a part of that conversation? So there might be blog topics that can help, them insert themselves into that. So it does kind of depend on the client a little bit. Yeah, but I always start with, how can I create content that's going to help the audience that the business is trying to serve?
Yeah, I think you make a really good point there about reaching out to your existing customers. A mentor once told me that your best source of new business is existing business.
Definitely.
So a lot of times speaking to your existing customers about the challenges that they may be having, is really helpful as far as creating new content, definitely. I think after you've established yourself with a lot of what we call evergreen content, right? Mm-hmm. Stuff that isn't necessarily topical or timely, but has an evergreen, an everlasting quality to it. I think is really good. But if you've gotten to that point and you've created a lot of that content, now you kind of have to pivot. And what you just mentioned there about like looking to the news and seeing what's on, I call that newsjacking. Mm-hmm. And that sounds like a negative connotation, and I think in some circles it is. Mm-hmm. But the reality is, if you can offer insight in a non-offensive or non-awkward type of way, and actually lend a voice to the conversation, I think it makes a lot of sense to be able to do something like that. So yeah, no, that's a good idea. So I do want to get into some tips and tricks that you might have. But first, I want to start talking about the wonderful world of co-working. So I will tell you this. One of the things that I love best about co-working at the Candy Factory in Lancaster is the community that we have here. Co-working may not sound like the thing to do during a pandemic, but the reality is that co-working is more than just gathering in a physical space. It's about relationships. It's about connection. And fortunately, the Candy Factory, Lancaster's premier co-working facility, has understood this for years. One of the best perks of being a member here is that I can remain connected to this community even when I can't be on the premises. That means if I need developer help, I've got people to contact. If I need someone to give me feedback on an issue, I've got resources. If I'm looking for help for a client, there's an entire team of people here who can help me meet their needs. Because at the Candy Factory, even when you're home, you're here. So check out coworkinginlancaster.com, get a free day pass, and see everything they have to offer. Again, that's coworkinginlancaster.com. Okay, so let me ask you this. One of the things that I often get asked from clients when we're just starting out, especially startups or small businesses, is where do we start? So from a content perspective, what advice can you give a startup or small business that's just looking to develop content for their website, blog, or social media?
Right. So I always tell startups who have never done this before in a lot of cases to, don't overthink it and just get started. It's easy to say, it's really hard to do. The way that I've found the best, for at least those that I've worked with, is not to fly by the seat of your pants with your content.
Right.
And also help yourself by taking an hour, sit down, and on a piece of paper and a pen and write out 20 topics that could work as a potential blog post. And again, what are some think of all the questions you've been asked recently. What answers can you provide that would help your customers? Write them down, make a list. From there, schedule. So hold yourself accountable. Every 2 weeks, I'm going to write one blog post. Keep it very simple. Don't overwhelm yourself, especially in the beginning. what I like to do is come up with blog posts that may be, tips, bulleted lists. Then what I'm able to do, which makes life easier too, when you're trying to take your blog content and move it over to social, is okay, every one of those tips is a social post. Every one of those bullet points could be a social post. That just makes life easier, because now, you've written one blog, you put it up on your website, and you have 3 or 5 social posts that all go back to your website and get the people you're engaging with on social over to your website, where you can now hopefully convert them and bring them into your world. So that's like step number 1, make it easy, keep yourself organized.
Okay, cool.
That would be my biggest tip, I guess.
All right. Yeah, one of the things that I tell new startups and small businesses, and it's weird to say this to them, but don't talk to yourself. That's one of my biggest pieces of advice too, because what I find a lot of times when we're looking to overhaul content, I'm sure you've discovered this too, is there's a lot of jargon and lingo within certain industries. In fact, within a lot of industries, and people tend to put that stuff out there because that's the words and nomenclature that they know, right? Mm-hmm. So, but the problem is when you're not looking at it from a customer or client's perspective, what winds up happening then is you're missing out on their pain points and you're missing out on their issues. So yeah, that's another one too. So and anything else, any other general strategies that you have for people?
Yeah, I think with kind of maybe adding to your comment a little bit is, people buy from people. They want to engage with you as the business owner. So speak to them, literally in your voice. One of the things I love to do for clients when it's appropriate is write a blog post that as a reader, I should feel like we're having a conversation, not that I'm reading, 500 words on a piece of paper or a screen. So yeah, that would be my maybe broader advice, not so much a tip, but be yourself, put your face to your brand, put your voice into your blogs, and, use that as a way to engage and, again, provide that helpful content. So.
All right, great. Well, hey, thanks so much for being with us today, Beth. This is really awesome. Hopefully some people got some great information from you today. Just to tell you guys, today is the last episode of Getting Noticed for 2020. So the next time I'm going to see you is going to be in the brand new, wonderful year of 2021. So we will be saying goodbye to the dumpster fire that was 2020 and moving forward to greener pastures in 2021. Thank you so much for being with Getting Noticed this whole time. We're really looking forward to more shows and more great content in the weeks to come. So see you in 2020 and happy marketing. Getting Noticed is part of the Candy Factory miniseries and is a proud member of the Candy Factory Collective. You can find the show streaming on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and LinkedIn, and you can subscribe to the audio version anywhere you get your podcasts.
You can check out Justin's classes at Pennsylvania College of Art and Design. That's pcad.edu. And learn more about Headline Consultants at headlineconsultants.com.
Getting Noticed is produced by the Candy Factory Collective at the Candy Factory Coworking Campus in Lancaster, PA. The show is produced by Jason Mundock with production support by Anna Tran. Administrative support by Ann Kirby, Ariana Henderson, and Christian Martzel. Notes and links can be found on the show post at our website, candyfactorycollective.com.
Candy Factory.
Collective.